You say you gonna make my old shoes do what? Look new again? I believe it when I see it.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy TJ from BK back with another restoration here at the Fountain of Shoeth. Today we got these Air Jordan Retro 7s, the Cardinal 7s, initially released in 1992.
Serious?
Today we're going to be repainting them, giving them a deep clean inside and out. Also removing some of the yellowing up on the leather. There's a section on the toe box on the right foot where you can see it's like the paint is chafing. So we're gonna go ahead and sand that down and repaint that and have them looking as fresh as possible. Thank you for tuning in once again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't be afraid to comment. Stay tuned and let's get started.
Got you, homie.
Alright, YouTube, first things first, we're gonna put our shoe trees into our sneakers that we're working on today, which is these Air Jordan 7 Cardinals.
That was easy.
Now that those are in there, I'm going to start off on the right foot. Got my FZ150 in here. I'm going to go ahead and work on the bottoms first and work my way up to the top and then on the inside. So, as usual, I'm going to use my stiff bristle brush when it comes to the bottoms, on the outsoles, my medium for the midsoles, and the soft for the uppers, and the tongue area and the inside. Moved on to the medium. And again, these Air Jordan 7s and the 6s, they have a lot of grooves, so you want to use a softer bristle brush to get into those circles on the outsoles. Sometimes the stiff bristle brush doesn't get into it. Alright, so now that that's taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and work on the tongue area and on the inside. So I'm going to take out our shoe trees for now. I can already see that color coming back. FZ150 is doing the trick. These are looking much better on the insides already, just from the soap and water. I wouldn't advise putting these shoes in a washing machine because there are areas where, with the age, they have like these leather pieces of material that come out, and if you wash it over time, it'll start making it brittle, like on this side. As you can see, it started cracking and whatnot. So you want to put it in a washing machine because then it'll lead to more cracking on the inside of your uppers.
Serious?
So you don't want to put this type of Jordan in the washing machine because it could get beat up in the cycle. So try to avoid doing that. The hand wash method would be best. Alright, now that we got these all soaked up and lathered up with some tender loving care, we're gonna go ahead and rinse these. And I'm gonna move on to the other side. After that, I'm gonna come back and do the insoles and the laces. And after they dry, we'll be back with the repaint, the unyellowing process, and the UV light with my indoor setup. Then hopefully we'll get the best final results when it comes to these Air Jordan 7s, initially released in 1992. Stay tuned. Alright YouTube, now that those Cardinal 7s are drying, they've been deep cleaned inside and out, we're going to move on to our insoles and our shoelaces using our FC150 and our medium bristle brush. We're going to go ahead and start on these insoles. Alright, now that we got the insoles lathered up, we're going to move on to these laces using FC150. Get some foam on there. Rub them in your hands. As usual, I got my bleach and water ready in a cup to let my laces soak to get them back to that natural white that we need. Now we got some tender loving care on these laces. We're going to go ahead and put them in our bleach and water.
That was easy.
Let those soak. I'm going to go ahead and rinse off my hands. We'll be back. What's going on YouTube? We are back with these Cardinal Retro 7s. They cleaned up pretty nice. We're about to go ahead and prep for the repaint on these uppers and on these midsoles. We have this design with some high gloss finish there. So the paints we're going to use, we have our matte finish, we have our high gloss, matte finish, some duller for the white paint, and our plain white Angelus paints. We have acetone, our paint brushes, and our cotton swabs. So let's get started on the prep work, and then we're going to go ahead and touch up this pair of Cardinal 7s where there's some scuff marks on the toe box. As you can see here, I have some pictures. There's a lot more on the right side than on the left. On the left there's a little bit on the front area. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see what I'm doing as I'm prepping these, and also while I'm repainting them. Alright, when using these sandpapers, you want to go in a circular motion so that you can get anywhere that the paint is chipping, get it to come off in a smooth manner. You don't want to go in one direction because you will tend to peel it even more. So you don't want to peel the paint off, you just want to get it to expose where it's chipping and then smoothen the areas around that chipping area so that when it's time for the repaint, you get a smoother look and a smoother finish to them. So as you can see here, I exposed more where the paint was chipping, but then I sanded it down So it's actually a smooth area around the whole of the paint chip. So this step you do a little bit more damage than good, but as you can see there, I exposed where the paint was chipping and I kind of smoothened it out so that when you repaint over it, it doesn't have that rough look to it anymore. So this right foot is pretty good to go. That's the only area that had any severe chipping, which was the toe box. On the other side, it doesn't have that much, so we're going to move on to the left foot before we get to the acetone prep. So on the left toe box, you can see here, there's a little bit of paint chipping, but it's not as bad as the right foot. So we're going to go ahead and use our sandpaper again, smoothing out that area. And we'll be ready for the repaint. And you want to avoid the stitching areas. You don't want to, brush too hard on it with the sandpaper, because then it starts to fuzzy up the stitching. So you want to, do that as lightly as possible, or at least as much as you would do areas that are, more open areas that are smooth, or the tumble leather. As you can see, it's sanding down some of the paint. It's also on the sandpaper. You also got a little spot over here. I could use some sanding. A lot of these scuffs, like right here on the heel, will come out once we use the acetone, which is the next step.
Perfect.
When you're using your acetone, you just want some cotton swabs. Get your acetone. Get some acetone on the swab. You don't gotta drench it. Just enough so that when you're going over the areas, you can smoothen out where you're about to paint, expose any of that area that had the factory finish. Get some of that off. Clean up all the white areas on your shoe. On to the other side. As you can see, the acetone is cleaning up some of the scuffs that were there, which is also a method that I use a lot for, scuffs that are on white leather paint. The acetone works very well. Now that these have been prepped with the acetone, I'm going to move on to the left side. Do the same thing. Get a new cotton swab. Get some acetone on there. just like that. That's how you prep it with the acetone. You don't gotta go too crazy with it. Just enough to, get up those scuffs that the FC150 or your cleaning solution couldn't get rid of. And now we're ready for our repaint. Get some of this lint from these cotton balls off. Yeah.
Perfect.
So now we're ready for our repaint. I'm gonna give these a second to dry. I'm gonna show you the paints I'm using for particular areas, and we'll be back with that. Alright YouTube, now that these have fully dried after using the acetone and cleaning them up, getting some scuffs out of them that the FC150 couldn't get off, using the acetone and the cleaning process, we got these ready. We prepped them with some sandpaper. Now we're ready to do the repaint. We got our paint brushes here and our duller and our white paint mixed in. So we're just gonna make sure that it's thoroughly mixed. And then we could begin our repaint process using these Angelus leather paints. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on this right foot. So you just want to do some even coats, cover up those chipping areas or the scuffs that you needed to fix. And let them dry evenly. Once you've covered most of the area, you let them sit and dry. So maybe after the third coat, these will be good to go. When it comes to the toe box area, I'm gonna go ahead and touch up these other areas while the toe box is drying, using our Angelus paints. These areas don't really have much damage to them, so I'm gonna just go ahead and give it one nice even coat. These are looking a lot better already. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue painting the rest of these as well as the left side, and we'll be back with the end result of our painting job. And you'll see the before and afters with the pictures, the scuff areas, and that'll be the completion of our, restoration process. I'm also going to go ahead and touch up some of the creasing in the midsoles, as you can see here, using our heat gun and some sole separation at the front. I'm just going to, put some bar cement in there and make sure these are good to go for them to wear them again. And we'll be back after our repaint. What's going on YouTube? We're back after the paint job on these Cardinal 7s. These came out looking very good. I'm sure the owner will be happy. We have ourselves another
flawless victory.
And these are looking pretty good.
Good job!
These had the shredding toe box, as you will see in the before and after pictures. We got them repainted.
Perfect.
I touched up the other panels that are similar to the tumble leather on the toe box with the paint. Both of these came out pretty good. I'm happy with these results. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's your boy TJ from BK. Don't be afraid to comment. That wraps it up for this restoration of these Cardinal Retro 7s. Until next time.
Good job!